Hi, today I'm going to show you how to begin and how to complete a painting of a golden eagle. Now I'm using the SAA pastels, which I think are perfect for anyone new to pastels. They're really soft so you can blend well with them, but they're hard enough to get a line to draw with, so absolutely perfect for beginners. So I'm going to introduce you to a tool today which will ensure that your drawings are accurate before you even pick up your pastels. It's the scale finder. The scale finder is 15 centimetres by 10 centimetres, so it's designed to fit a standard photograph. So here I've actually placed it over my photograph of the golden eagle. What you then have to do is draw a grid. Now in typical Blue Peter style, here's one I made earlier. Now as I said, my grid was 10 centimetres by 15 centimetres. I've now decided the scale, so I've doubled everything. So as you can see now, all the details are in the right place. Now because of the constraints today with painting this, I've moved on very rapidly and I've already painted the basics of the eagle, but there'll be something missing which I'm going to paint for you today. Okay, so after some time, I've ended up with this. So, what's missing? Now, have you ever been to a gallery and all the paintings in the gallery appear to be watching you? That's eyes well painted, so that's what we need to aim for. The first thing we need to start with is the iris, the coloured part of the eye. I like to start with a light colour and build up because eyes are always multicoloured. So here I'm going to start with a lemon yellow. Now I'm using a marl stick, and the marl stick will prevent me spoiling the work that I've already done. Now this is a lovely bright colour, but it is literally just an undercoat. Now as I say, that's the undercolour. Next I'm going to pick on another yellow, a yellow ochre. Now the great thing with these pastels as well, the SAA pastels are easy to snap into more manageable pieces. If I tried to snap a more expensive make of pastel, I would end up with a lot of dust, but with the SAA pastels you can snap them quite cleanly. So now I have two. Okay. Now the next colour I'm going to add is an orange. I'm actually going to focus the orange on the outer side of the iris because that's where it's deepest in tone. So again, I'm very roughly going to add this because I'm going to be blending these three colours in a second. So again, very roughly adding this. I love painting eyes because they bring any animal to life. Blending. Lots of people are a little bit afraid with blending and not sure what tools to use. The best tool to use are your fingers because you can't lose those. Or you could use a colour shaper. And again, these are really good to get into those fine detailed areas. The other thing I found are particularly useful are pieces of polystyrene packaging, which are really useful for blending because they push the pigment around without taking the colour out. So I'll use my fingers initially to blend that area in. There we go. That's got a nice glow to it now. The thing I notice with a bird of prey is that I'll always have a shadow at the top of the eye. The iris will take on a shadow because of the deep hood of that eye. So rather than picking on a new colour, I use a colour I've already used within the bird. So I'm using this smoke grey, which I've already used within the beak and some of the feathers here. Now there is like a circle of this grey right the way around here. And again I'll blend that in. using the colour shaper this time. There you go, that's starting to take shape. Now I've noticed with the eye they have lots of little flecks of colour, so I'm just going to add some flecks with the yellow ochre and the orange. Lots of little flecks of orange here. So that's building up gradually. Right. Now, one thing that the eye definitely needs is some light. The light in the eye actually brings an animal's eye to life. I always put on pure white. I could put the pupil colour on first and then the white on top, but the white would then not be as bright. So I put the pupil on afterwards, after I've added the highlight. Now, to add the final drama, we need some black. And the black will be for the pupil plus the surrounding eye area. I'm using a Conte stick rather than one of the pastels here to give myself more control. If you want to use a pastel pencil, you can also do exactly the same with your pencil. It's just that the pastels themselves are quite large to handle, and this is a lot easier to handle. Just giving that edge of dark here. Right the way around. And if you want to fine tune that, then you can use a pastel pencil. There we go, so that highlight shows up, brings that bird alive. So hopefully this bird here now looks like he's actually looking at something. I think he's now looking menacing. Okay, well, I think that bird's now alive, so for today I think that's the end of that demonstration. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you'd like to join me on a painting day or a painting holiday, I'd love to meet you. You can contact me via my SAA web pages.